Do you get paid more working in crypto? The Web3 space is quite mysterious, so I want to debunk, demystify some of the questions that people may have around salaries in this space. So I'm joined by the local boys who are experts in landing jobs in Web3 and tech. And I will ask some questions around salaries in the Web3 space, in the cryptocurrency, jobs, roles, all that stuff. So without a further ado, let's jump into that conversation.
Hi, Claire and Sam. We're back with Local Boys and we're talking about salary data today. Hello, ladies. Please introduce yourselves and what the Local Boys do.
Absolutely. Thanks, Masha. Local Boys as your go-to resource for finding a job in Web3 and crypto. We have a variety of different programs, and we also run a weekly newsletter that will just take you 5 minutes to read and has a ton of a wealth of job resources, including a bunch of hand-selected job weekly job picks for you to browse.
Thanks for having us, Masha. I'm Sam, also part of the Local Boys, helping run the newsletter as well as the many programs that were coming out in 2023. You can get on the wait list below.
Yes, all the links will be in the description down below. But we are going to jump in straight into the topic of the video, which is all about salaries. The question that we're trying to answer and demystify today is, do you get paid more working in crypto, and all of the other different potential myths that could circulate around the air when it comes to salaries in crypto space? So let's dive straight into it, comparing salaries, regular tech salaries, Web2 tech salaries to crypto salaries. How do they compare?
Awesome. I'll jump right in. So regular salaries versus tech salaries. So spoiler alert, they're actually very similar. What a lot of people don't know is for crypto salaries, they're not as transparent. So there's not as much salary data going backwards through time as there is for tech. So sometimes it's hard to figure out what band you lie in. The bands that we're looking at are traditionally associate as the kind of lowest level. Then you're looking at manager, then you're looking at director. Next is a VP band, and then C suite. So within each of those levels, there's a little bit of a pay band or a salary band for those crypto jobs. So once we kind of extrapolate from there, you're looking at we'll take the top 5 roles from the cryptocurrency and Web3 industry, and we'll break them down for you. So starting from the kind of lowest band here, or I would say like there's top 5 jobs, but the kind of the last 5 right here is community. Those community jobs are generally, you're looking at a lower end of the band for everything. So on that associate through manager level, you're looking at like 50 to 80K. For VP, you're probably looking more in the like 80, probably higher than 80, honestly. You're looking at more at like the 120 to like 180 band. But there's just not as many VP jobs. So you're kind of going to have, those are going to be far and few between. So moving on to marketing, the number 4, marketing roles, you're looking between associate and everything up to VP. You're looking at something between 80 and 200. For that C-suite, it's a little bit harder to predict because often you're getting more equity. Goes across all different pay bands and across all different salary types or job types rather. But for that C-suite, it's a little bit more difficult because often you're getting much more equity, but your pay is not going much above a VP or director role. Okay, so marketing, you're looking between 80 and 200K from associate up to like VP C-suite. BD, you're looking at, so this is business development for cryptocurrency and Web3. You're looking between 110 and 220, 220K, but often these comes with commission. So at an associate level, you might be a 110. At a VP or C-suite level, you're looking more in the 220K, but that can rise by tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on your commission. Next, but not certainly not last, is DeFi. This is a kind of a big bucket. It's not really like a particular role. This could be anything from an analyst to a researcher to content marketer to just like general business development or product development roles. And for this, you're looking at from an associate level all the way up to like VP, C-suite. Again, difficult to say for C-suite, but you're looking at 90 to 250K. Last but not least, we're looking at technical roles. Obviously, this is a very technical field. Technical roles are in high demand across bull and bear markets. So on the junior level, this is for like engineering specific roles. On the junior level, you're looking at around 130K. And then as soon as you move into that manager or director role, you're kind of bumping up into like the 200s. Often by director level, you're looking at 250K. And by VP level, you're looking at 500. Obviously, technical roles are a little bit different because you're more in the like individual contributor category often. Sometimes you never move from IC into like a managerial role in engineering. But sometimes you do. Obviously, your salary will be usually be commensurate with that level change. And then for UX UI, you're looking at on the lower end of those bands. So UX UI associate, you're looking in like 90 to 120, and then manager moves from like into like the 100 to like 150 band, and then kind of up and up and up. I would say for those UX UI roles, you're not looking at higher than 200 until you're like senior director or VP. So that kind of covers the gamut from associate manager, director, VP, C-suite across those five salary roles. And for crypto comparison of salaries in regular tech versus cryptocurrency.
Thank you so much for so much detailed information. That is incredible. And I'm sure everybody who's watching it is like, okay, now I understand what I'm aiming for, what I could expect. My next question is about, all right, so you find a role and you're like, wow, that sounds like an amazing salary, for example, in one of those engineering roles that are super in super high demand. But, sometimes the number, the numbers that you were quoting are so high that you're like, is this even legit? How do you figure out whether a company is legit or not? What do you do?
That's a great question, Masha. And I think it's a healthy question to ask at all times too, whether you're looking for a role, looking at partners, etc. So there are a few different ways. You can check them out on Angel List, which I now believe has rebranded to Well Found. You can also look at their socials, so check out their Twitter. You can look at their Discord. Note how many people follow them or how many people are there. See what they're talking about, their latest announcements. You can always do a Google search with their name to see if they have any press announcements that came out. One thing that I would highly, highly recommend for any sort of company due diligence is to look at who has funded them, if they have funding, look at when they were funded, how much that was, and who are their backers. There are some really big backers like Polychain, Framework, A16Z, and a handful of others that are really massive. And if those are behind them, that's a really great bullish signal. Some other things is that you can also do some deep diving into their blog, look at their Medium, look at what they've posted, see, have they really gone into detail about what they're offering and why they think it's important and why they're doing what they're doing. That will also give you a sense of like the quality. So like, is it a well-written blog post? Is it something that feels really shoddy and kind of put together? That'll give you a good gauge on it. And then also look at the founders. So who's the founding team, who's working there, how many people are working there. Usually you can find that on LinkedIn, or you can see on Discord, or even just kind of do some digging on Twitter. So I would highly recommend kind of finding out those few things to figure out if they're legit.
So do your research. And it's, it's something that you should be doing with any regular company as well, right? I've been doing that on my research for the Web2 space as well, because you want to make sure that the next place that you work at is legit at the end of the day. All right, so there's I feel like there might be a myth around this. I don't know how many people have this misconception or don't. Do you get paid in crypto when you work in Web3? Like, what does that look like? Do you get paid in dollars? Yeah, tell us.
Usually you should get paid in the currency of the country that you live in. So if you're living in the US, you're most likely going to be paid in US dollars. Some protocols do have options where you can get paid in crypto. I think even Coinbase did this, where you have the option of getting paid in a certain cryptocurrency. There are a few things that you want to keep in mind if you do that. So do you really trust the cryptocurrency that you're getting paid in? If you do, that might go up over, in time, and then boost your salary because of that. So just a couple of things to keep in mind if you do want to get paid in crypto. I think this was more popular at the beginning of this whole wave when early protocols were trying to just get talent really fast and grow. So during the ICO boom, it was really popular to join the protocol and then get paid in that token. Now, I think that's less so. It's just much more mature now in terms of the way that employees are getting paid.
Makes sense. And my final question for you ladies is, are there any, like as we're talking about salary, I just think about the entire compensation, the benefits, all the package, the work environment. What are the differences between the Web 2 space and Web 3 space in terms of all of those different things?
I think in some ways they're very similar. So one comparison I saw is that I previously worked at Crunchbase, and it was this 30-person team at the time, and there was a good amount of structure once we entered Series B, but it still felt like a startup. And then I remember many years later interviewing at 0x, and I felt like it was the exact same company. It was the same size, it had the same vibe, similar balance in terms of flexibility, and then also organizational structure. So I think there's a strong parity there between the two. But you also have a slightly different work culture because of the Web3 industry culture. It's really important to be genuine. I think there's a much more like loose, like humor involved. So you're going to get more jargon. You're going to get a little bit of crypto bro jargon that you'll kind of want to keep tabs on, but you don't necessarily have to use. I'm personally pushing really hard against jargon use, so that it's more inclusive. But yeah, so you're going to get some of that. And I'm sure Claire has more to share there too.
Yeah, as far as culture go, I feel like you hit it right on the head. I don't have anything to add there. Totally, I'm aligned. As far as benefits go, it's very similar to tech, honestly. Like you're gonna get the usually companies are looking towards like unlimited paid time off, which can be a little bit of a trap. So make sure that if you're excited about that, that you actually take the time off. Just general PSA. But you're looking at unlimited time off. You're probably looking at some type of equity package when you sign your salary package. And you're probably also looking at some type of bonus for buying remote work gear or travel to and from conferences or like offsites if your company offers those. But nothing crazy. Usually full medical and dental is included in these funded companies per most tech startups. And as far as communication goes and tools that you use in crypto, often many of these companies are remote. Some of them don't have headquarters at all. So a lot of the work happens async, usually on Slack, Google Docs, those kind of like remote work tools that have become pretty popular across tech platforms the last few years.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of that information and demystifying the what it looks like to get paid in the crypto space, in the Web3 job market, etc. Because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people who are watching this right now, they're like, okay, what does it look like? So thank you so much for demystifying this and for sharing all the wonderful resources that you are sharing with the world. Again, the link to the newsletter is going to be in the description. Make sure you subscribe to the Local Boys over there.
The newsletter is takes 5 minutes a day to read. We think it's pretty fun. It's light and sassy and has a bunch of hand-picked jobs in it every week that we spend pretty much hours hand curating just for you. So go sign up. The link is down there. And thank you so much for watching.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Claire and Sam, for sharing all this information with us. I will leave links to your programs, to the waitlist for 2023, and all that good stuff in the description as well. But yeah, once again, thank you so much for your time, for your wisdom. It's been amazing.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much, Claire and Sam, for demystifying some of those topics and sharing such granular details about the different roles and salaries and all that stuff. This is super helpful, so thank you. If you're not subscribed to the Local Boys newsletter just yet, what are you doing? The link will be in the description down below, along with links to their programs and any waitlists that you could join in order to be the first one to hear about their programs. So yeah, your call to action in this video is to go and subscribe to their newsletter, because that is how you're going to stay updated on everything. You could find a job that way. You could get all these different tips. I mean, they're spending hours and hours to curate the job board. that says something. So you're going to be in good hands if you join that newsletter. Like this video if you've enjoyed it, and share any questions, comments, etc. below. If there are a lot of different comments that I can group up in another themed video, I will ask local boys to come back again and do another video with me, because this video is it's one video in the 3-video part series. So I will leave the links to all the other videos over here and in the description down below. So if you do have some questions that maybe did not get answered in this one, you might find your answers there. But regardless, leave your questions underneath in the comments, and if they have been answered, I will leave a link to the video where they were answered. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. Good. We can also be friends on other social media. You can find me as Stereotype Breakers, and I hope you have a wonderful time the day you're currently experiencing. Bye.